In the dim hush of the airplane's crew rest area, where the world outside seemed to sleep beneath layers of clouds, two hearts found a rhythm that no turbulence could shake. This is the story of Ava and Riley, and how they found love at 35,000 feet. Ava, the senior flight attendant, was the epitome of calm professionalism. She was the one who could soothe passengers through the worst storms and smile her way through the longest hauls. But tonight, something in her composure trembled. It wasn't the flight. It was Riley. Riley was the new attendant, soft-spoken but with a radiance that could outshine the sun. Her laughter was like a sunrise breaking through heavy morning clouds, and it was starting to break through Ava's carefully constructed walls. Their shift had been long, a blur of serving coffee and making sure everyone was comfortable, but between the tasks, a quiet current flowed between them. It was in the shy smiles exchanged across the galley, the accidental brush of hands in the narrow aisles, the shared glances that held a little too long. Every small moment pulled them closer into something unspoken, something electric. When the cabin finally fell silent and the passengers were asleep, Ava did something she'd never done before. She invited Riley into the crew rest area, a secret sanctuary hidden behind a simple curtain. The space was small and dimly lit with the warm orange glow of overhead lights. The air smelled faintly of coffee and lavender hand cream, a comforting mix that felt like home. As they settled into the small, secluded space, their conversation began to stretch beyond polite small talk. They moved from work stories to personal dreams. Riley spoke of her desire to travel, not just for work, but to find meaning, to discover herself, and to love without fear. Ava listened, her heart thudding a soft, steady rhythm against her ribs. She realized just how much she had been holding back, not just from the world, but from herself. All these years, she'd been so focused on being the perfect flight attendant, she'd forgotten to be just. Ava, do you ever wonder, Riley whispered, her voice barely audible over the hum of the engines, what would happen if we stopped hiding what we feel? Ava's breath caught in her throat. The question hung in the air, fragile and heavy with possibility. Slowly, her hand found Riley's. It was trembling, but it was sure. Every single day, she confessed, the words tasting like freedom on her lips. The silence that followed was different. It wasn't empty. It was full of everything they hadn't said until now. And then, with the steady hum of the engines as their only witness, Ava leaned in. It wasn't an impulse. It was an act of clarity, a moment of finally seeing what was right in front of her. Their lips met softly, hesitantly at first. It was a question asked and answered in the same instant. The kiss deepened with every heartbeat, warm and quiet, yet it felt louder than any announcement that had ever echoed through the plane. In that tender moment, time seemed to fold in on itself. The weight of the miles they'd traveled, the rules they had to follow, the entire world beyond the cabin walls, all of it just vanished. There was only warmth, breath, and the shared, glowing feeling of two souls finally being seen. When they pulled apart, Riley was smiling. It wasn't just any smile. It was the kind that promised this wasn't just a fleeting in-flight connection. This was the start of something real. Guess we found something that glows brighter than the city lights down there, she murmured, her eyes sparkling. Ava chuckled, a soft, happy sound she hadn't made in a long time. She reached up and gently brushed a stray strand of hair from Riley's cheek. Yeah, she said softly, her voice filled with a newfound peace. Right here, above the clouds, they rested side by side, their fingers entwined, the quiet hum of the aircraft now feeling like a lullaby. It was carrying them through the night sky, their hearts steady, their love rising with the altitude. Because sometimes, love doesn't need grand gestures or perfect, movie-like timing. Sometimes, it simply glows in the stillness, in the hidden corners of the world, and in the quiet courage of two people daring to finally, truly feel. Thank you so much for joining me for this story. If it touched your heart, please give this video a thumbs up and subscribe for more stories about love in all its beautiful forms. Until next time, take care.